Good evening, good evening students. Today we are starting the part 4 of system of particles and rotational motion. So we'll just look into it. So let us see the equilibrium of a rigid body. So what is the equilibrium of a rigid body? That means when the body is said to be in equilibrium. So there are two conditions here for equilibrium, that is the forces acting on the rigid body and the torques acting on the rigid body. Okay, these when they are equated to 0, then it is said that the body is at equilibrium, right? So let us see one by one. The change in linear momentum of a rigid body is due to a net force acting on the body, and the change in angular momentum is due to net torque acting on the body. Okay, so now when there is linear momentum of a rigid body, then there is the change is due to the force acting on the body if the body is having translational motion. Okay, that is when there is change in the linear momentum of a body, the body is in translational motion, and that is due to the net force acting on the body. Okay, and if there is change in the angular momentum, that is due to the torque acting on the body, and that is it has a rotational motion that we have seen, right? Then a rigid body is said to be in mechanical equilibrium. Okay, when it is acted on force or torque, then when it is said to be in mechanical equilibrium, that if its linear momentum as well as angular momentum are not changing. So there is no change in the linear momentum as well as there is no change in the angular momentum of the body. Then the body is said to be in equilibrium. Okay, so there are two conditions, as I told you. The two conditions of mechanical equilibrium of the rigid body are: first one, force, that is the vector sum of the forces. So if we are talking about a rigid body, so in a rigid body there are so many number of particles, right? On these particles, so if we take n number of forces acting on it, right? So like x1 vector, f2 vector, f3 vector, and so on. So all these, they are equated. Okay, that is if we add all those forces, that it is equal to 0. Okay, they are equated to 0. This is the case in the translational equilibrium. Okay, so the net force acting on a body will be 0, hence the body is in equilibrium, and also there is no change in the linear momentum of the body, right? So this is the first condition for equilibrium of a rigid body. Then let us go to the what happens in the rotational equilibrium. So when we talk about rotational equilibrium, there arises torque. That is, torque is nothing but the rotating effect of the force or moment of force, right? So the vector sum of the torques on the rigid body is 0. That is tau 1 plus tau 2 plus so on, tau n is equated to 0. Summation, when we summate all those, tau I vector is equal to 0. So therefore there is no change in the angular momentum of the body, and the torque remains 0. Therefore the body is said to be in rotational equilibrium. Okay, so these are the two conditions for the equilibrium of the rigid bodies, right? So now let us go to the couple. Now we have seen what is torque. Torque is applied on the body due to single force. Couple is the force, it is the two forces. Couple is two, right? So two opposite forces acting on the same body is known as the couple, right? So I will read out the definition for couple. A pair of equal and opposite forces with different lines of action acting on the body is known as a couple, right? A couple produces rotation without translational motion. So same like a seesaw. If two children are playing seesaw, there is couple acted on that body, right? Followed. So the two kids whose weight, their weight acts as the force, right? So that is the couple. That is two different forces acting on the 2 points. Okay. Then now, and when we open a lid of a bottle, there we apply a couple. Then when we open a tap, closing of the tap, opening of the tap, there also we are applying couple, right? Then when we twist a wire or thread, there we apply a couple. So this is a couple. That means two or more forces acting on the two forces acting on the same body is known as the couple. Okay. Now the moment of the couple is equal to the sum of the moments of the two forces making the couple. So let us see what is this. So let the forces be F and minus F acting at the points A and B constitute a couple. The position vectors of the A and B are R1 vector and R2 vector. So in the diagram you have seen here, from A it is minus F. Minus is only the direction. Okay. Negative shows only the direction, and from B it is plus F. They are acting on AB, right? And there, let us consider O as the point from where it is fixed, right? So from O to A the position vector is R1 vector, and from O to B the position vector is R2 vector. Okay. Now making the couple is equal to the sum of the moments of the two forces making the sum of the two forces. So moment of couple is, so moment of the couple is R1 vector cross minus F vector plus R2 cross F. So here R2, so we'll take the R2 and F before, because here was minus. Then R2 cross F vector minus R1 cross F vector is equal to, that means we have to take the torque. This is nothing but the torque. So torque is nothing but two torques on the same body. So R into F is nothing but torque. Here it is for the second force and this is for the first force. So R2 cross F minus R1 cross F equal to, take F common here, R2 minus R1 into F vector. Now let us consider R1 plus AB equal to R2, or R2 minus R1 equal to AB. That is the distance between these two. That is O. Here it is A, B, R1 and R2. So now if we want this R1 plus, when we add these two, it is equated to R2. Therefore R2 minus R1 will give AB distance. Okay, therefore moment of couple is equal to, let us consider single force on the body AB into F. So here is nothing but AB is equal to like R. AB is nothing like R. So R cross F it is. That is moment of the couple. Now let us see this equation is for the diagram. This one. If F is perpendicular to AB, moment of the couple is equal to AB cross F. Therefore AB is nothing but arm of the couple, that is distance, into F is the magnitude of the force. F is the magnitude of the force. It is similar to the torque. Okay. Now let us go to the principle of moment. Consider an ideal lever. Lever is nothing but a mass, a rod, where we can fix up at a certain point, at a certain height, and at the other end it is lowered, and we can remove any heavy objects. That is a lever. Okay. So consider an ideal lever, or ideal lever is nothing but a rod of negligible mass, okay, pivoted at point O along its length. This point O is called the fulcrum. So like for example a seesaw. So fulcrum is nothing but the point where this rod is supported at the center. Okay, that is the fulcrum. Two forces F1 and F2 are parallel to each other and perpendicular to the length of the lever, act at A and B respectively. The F1 act at A and F2 act at B. The distances of A and B from the fulcrum is D1 and D2 respectively. The reaction R of the support at the fulcrum is directed opposite to the forces F1 and F2. So therefore the mechanical equilibrium under the action of forces F1 and F2 is, it is translational equilibrium. Okay, so in translational equilibrium we have already seen here, if the forces are equated to 0, then the body is said to be in equilibrium, right? So therefore R is nothing but the normal reaction. So here if this is a rod and this is a fulcrum, so here it is F1, they are parallel downwards, F2, and upward force is the reaction force. So here R is minus F1 minus F2. So anticlockwise we will go minus F1 minus F2. So R is nothing but, equate this after the RHS, take F1 and F2 in RHS. R is equal to the sum of the two forces, R equal to F1 plus F2. So R is the upward force by the body and F1 and F2 are the downward force on the edges of the rod. Therefore total upward forces is equal to total downward forces, that is dF1 minus d2F2 equal to 0, or d1 F1 equal to d2F2. So here in case of the lever, F1 is the load, that is the weight to be lifted at one end. If F1 is the load to be lifted, okay, and this is the support, right, and here this is the effort. This side will be effort, this will be weight, it is effort or weight or load we can say, and here is the effort, and this is the arm, both side arm. This is load arm and this is the effort arm. Effort arm. Arm is nothing but the distance here. We will consider arm as a distance. So therefore in the case of the lever, F1 is the load to be lifted. Its direct distance from the fulcrum is called load arm, right? So F2 is the effort or the force which we apply to lift this body or the load. Therefore the distance D2 from the fulcrum is taken as the effort arm. Thus load arm into load is equal to, that is D1 into F1 is equal to D2 into F2, that is effort arm into effort. This is the principle of lever. So when is the mechanical advantage? When the load is very less than the effort. So therefore F1 by F2 is equal to D2 by D1. So therefore effort arm will be greater and load arm will be lesser. Therefore mechanical advantage is greater than 1. will be greater. So that's what here. If effort arm D2 is large compared to load arm A1, that means if you are putting more effort, that is large, and the D1 load is less, okay, then the mechanical advantage will be high, that is it is greater than 1. Hence small effort F2 can be used to, so effort how much we are putting, force we can put is very less to lift a large load F1. Sorry, it is not large load, it is small load. Small load. Center, last one will go to the center of gravity. It is defined as the point where the weight of the body is supposed to act. A body is supported at its center of gravity, remains balanced, and it is in mechanical equilibrium. The reaction R and the point of support is equal and opposite to the total weight mg of the body. It is in translational equilibrium and also gravitational torque on the body at COG. That COG I have wrote in short form here. COG is nothing but the center of gravity. It is 0. So if all the forces or mass act on the same point, force on the same point, then the center of gravity will be 0, and also the center of gravity coincides with the center of mass in this case, and when it coincides with center of mass, the body is said to be in uniform gravity or in the gravity free space. That means there is no gravity. Okay, so center of gravity, it is nothing but a point of a body where all the body is balanced at the same point, and both ends of that point are in mechanical equilibrium. So this is known as the center of gravity. And also the gravitational torque on the body at this point is 0. So this is the center of gravity definition. Okay, thank you.